She pulled away, didn't she? She's now upset that you didn't pursue her. What if I told you that this is exactly what she wasn't expecting and why it's driving her crazy? In this video, we'll find out the truth behind her reaction and, more importantly, how you can handle it like the high-value man you are. Please stay with me, as you'll see the game like most men never will. Why she pulled away, Iris Roberts and Gary Tiber. Okay, let's get back to it. Thanks for your help. Part 1. Why did she pull away in the first place? Modern relationships operate in a unique manner that often goes unspoken. Today's women have to deal with a world that is full of constant approval. People on social media enjoy receiving constant attention and compliments on their phones. For many, this constant affirmation becomes addicting because it boosts their self-worth. But it also creates a complicated dynamic in relationships where external validation competes with the genuine connection she might share with you. When she pulls away, it's rarely because she's lost interest. Instead, it's usually because she's testing to see how much power she has in the relationship and hoping that you'll chase her to validate her and feed into the ego cycle that modern culture has fueled. Women who are used to being chased often expect the chase as a sign of their desirableness. However, it's crucial to understand that if you choose not to pursue, it triggers a deeper response. When a woman pulls away, it's not just to test you, it's also a sign of her own insecurity. She's asking herself, will he fight for me? Will he prove that I'm worth it? If the response fails to meet her expectations, she might become angry or resentful. As a man, you need to understand this. She's trying to find a balance between wanting approval and fearing rejection. Dynamic chasing isn't the answer, it's a trap. As soon as you begin to pursue her, you give her more control over the relationship. Dynamic, and even worse, you tell her that your worth rests on her attention. This imbalance causes her to consistently distance herself, which is detrimental. She became upset when you didn't pursue her, even though she knew you would always follow her. By remaining firm and refusing to chase her, you disrupt this pattern and demonstrate that your value is independent of her manipulations. Instead of reacting emotionally, approach this situation with clarity and purpose and ask yourself why she's pulling away. Is it a sign of something deeper in our relationship or of her own insecurities? Often, the best way to help her is to understand her fears instead of trying to win her support. This point of view is what sets high-value guys apart from others, those who get respect and admiration without giving up their own worth. Part 2. Why did she become upset when you didn't pursue her? When she pulls away, it's a power move. She likes to switch roles in this relationship until you chase her. However, if you defy her expectations and choose not to pursue, it may lead to her frustration. Why are you angry? Your refusal to pursue her challenges the foundation of her authority in the relationship, forcing her to confront the reality, an unpleasant truth. Her actions didn't yield the desired outcome. Your lack of interest feels like rejection in a world where she's accustomed to pursuit. Instead of chasing, consider how it affects her power, worth, and validation. Let's dig deeper. This generation's women often grow up in a culture that prioritizes independence, yet also places significant importance on external validation. Social media reinforces this with likes, shares, and comments that constantly remind them of how desirable they are. When she doesn't get the response she's expecting from you, it leaves her feeling empty, which is where anger and frustration start. But here's where things get interesting. Her anger isn't always a negative thing. In fact, it's a sign that your actions have set you apart from the crowd. Most men would have chased after her, and most men would have validated her actions. But by not doing so, you've shown her something rare. a man who doesn't need her attention to feel valuable. This angers her, as it prompts her to reevaluate her approach to relationships and recognize that her typical methods are ineffective with you. From a Stoic point of view, this is a powerful moment. If she gets angry, don't respond. Stay calm and let her feelings out without losing your own balance. Her anger is not yours to carry, it's hers to deal with. By staying calm, you reinforce your position as a man who commands respect, not through force or manipulation, but through unwavering self-worth. Remember that anger often turns into admiration in the long run. When she thinks back on the situation, she may realize that your refusal to chase her wasn't a rejection, but a sign of your strength, and that strength is what sets high-value men apart from the rest. Part 3. The power of not chasing in modern relationships. Not chasing isn't just about winning a power struggle. It's also about having a mindset of abundance. Today's dating scene often perceives men who chase as desperate or lacking options, but views men who stand firm and prioritize their purpose and self-respect as valuable and rare. This is especially true in a world where so many men chase. Try to get people's attention. How does a man who isn't chase stand out? He shows that he doesn't need anyone else to be happy or feel like he's important. In an age where showy confidence often hides real confidence, this level of independence and self-confidence is attractive. Not chasing doesn't mean you're cold or uninterested. It means you know what you're worth and won't give it up. It means setting limits to maintain your peace and only spending time in respectful, mutually satisfying relationships. The effects of chasing on your mind. If you don't chase, you demonstrate that your time is valuable and not everyone is entitled to it. This way of thinking not only helps you, but also creates a healthier relationship dynamic. When you don't chase after her, you invite her to join in on a dynamic of mutual respect and effort. It's no longer about GES or tests. It's about two people choosing to invest in each other from a place of genuine interest and value from a Stoic point of view. Not chasing is an exercise in self-mastery. It's a commitment to living by your principles instead of giving in to fleeting emotions or societal pressures. The book is about being yourself, even when everyone else tells you to change. Being yourself brings the right people into your life. Section 4. How social media reinforces her standards. Social media has fundamentally changed the way relationships operate in this generation. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat encourage a constant feed of validation. A single post can garner dozens, if not hundreds, of likes and comments, creating an environment where attention becomes a commodity. Women, especially those immersed in social media culture, grow accustomed to this validation loop. It's no longer just about personal connections, it's about how many people are watching. When she pulls away, she's often expecting you to act like the countless others who flood her DMs or comment on her pictures. These interactions have trained her to expect instant responses to any move she makes, but when you don't react, it creates a gap in her experience, a dissonance that's hard for her to process. She may not consciously realize it, but social media has shaped her expectations in a way that real-life interactions can't always match. Your lack of response then isn't just confusing, it's disruptive. It forces her to question why you're different. For the rest, this is where her anger came from. The fact that she's dealing with something that doesn't fit with the validation fuel dynamic she's accustomed to often gives you the edge. Your ability to resist this pull as a Stoic man sets you apart. It demonstrates your groundedness in reality and avoidance of the superficial games promoted by social media. It's not that all women are manipulative, their world encourages it. If you don't play along, you not only challenge her expectations, but you also ask her to rise above them and connect with you on a deeper, more meaningful level. Part 5. Psychological effects of chasing. When you chase someone who pulls away, you send her a strong psychological message. Your attention is what makes me valuable. This could lead to two undesirable outcomes. The first effect is that it makes her feel like she's in charge. Second, it devalues you in her eyes and yours. Let's look at this more closely. Value things that are difficult to get or scarce. Chasing eliminates any sense of mystery or intrigue by making yourself easy to find. If she doesn't work for your attention, she values it less. This can lead to a vicious cycle where she continues to distance herself, knowing that you will always return. However, it also has negative effects on you. Each time you pursue her, your self-esteem is lowered. You begin to feel reliant on her praise, a dependency that becomes difficult to break over time. This can damage your confidence and leave you feeling powerless in the relationship, especially if she doesn't pursue you. Break this cycle. As a high-value man, you take back your sense of self-worth and let her and yourself know that your worth isn't dependent on what she does. This mental shift is what makes them stand out. Building attraction by not chasing means knowing that their worth comes from inside, not from acceptance or validation from others. There are 6 reasons why Stoicism is your most effective tool when your emotions are heightened, such as when she withdraws or becomes angry. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't. Instead of reacting quickly to her actions, you learn to respond thoughtfully and with purpose. When she pulls away, your Stoic mindset reminds you that her behavior isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of her own fears, insecurities, or emotional patterns. By staying grounded and calm, you take back control of the story. You don't let her actions determine your emotions or sense of self-worth. When you practice Stoicism, you can see the bigger picture instead of getting caught up in the present. You can step back and ask yourself, is this relationship serving me? Are her actions in line with the kind of partnership I want? Answering these questions becomes simpler when you resist the urge to pursue or react emotionally. You not only deal with her behavior with grace, but you also find inner peace that makes every part of your life better. Whether they realize it or not, women deeply gravitate towards this kind of strength. It's the strength of a man who knows himself and doesn't need approval from others to feel whole. Part 7 of The Power of Patience and Boundaries discusses how to avoid going after builds. Appeal for real. Attraction isn't just about how someone looks or their superficial traits. It comes from having energy, confidence, and the strength to stand up for your values when someone doesn't want to chase you. You give off an air of self-assurance that's very beautiful. You're no longer just another person trying to get her attention. You're someone who deserves it without asking for it. Your refusal to follow also lends you an air of mystery. In a world where most men are quick to follow, your choice to stand your ground makes you stand out. This piques her curiosity and prompts her to explore what sets you apart. The answer to this question is that the foundation of real attraction lies not in pretending, but in being authentic and confident in who you are. But here's the thing, being cold or ignoring her doesn't mean you're not interested in her. It means you're setting limits and showing her that you value yourself as well as her. This balance is what leads to mutual respect and deeper relationships. Section 8. Why making limits is important. Setting clear boundaries lets the other person know what you will and will not put up with. Don't be controlling. Respect yourself enough to expect the same from others. When she pulls away, it's a chance to reinforce your boundaries. Instead of chasing her, you can calmly say what you expect from the relationship. For example, you could say, "I value open communication, and if something's bothering you, I'd rather we talk about it than play games." This sets the tone for better relationships and shows her you're not afraid to discuss issues head-on. Section 9. Right now, not chasing after her might be challenging because you fear losing her or aren't sure if you're making the right choice. But in the long run, staying true to yourself always pays off. When you put your self-respect and values first, you attract relationships that are truly fulfilling. You build connections based on mutual respect and effort instead of games or manipulation. Most importantly, you develop a sense of inner peace and confidence that no one can take away from you. If you liked this video, hit like and leave a comment. Thanks for watching and see you next time.